Hopefully, gently, they pour them into the bin to avoid bruising. And they'll work at that, you know, until they get their bin filled, and then it'll go on to another. And sometimes some pickers that work really hard, they can get as many as 5 or 6 bins a day, you know, and so they're really working hard. And sometimes they work in groups. So we have about 115 or so acres that we're farming right now in apples. So it takes a while, and like I said, 22 or so varieties. So we start in about the first week of August usually, and we'll pick until the pink ladies come off, which will be November. And then our crew will go to other places to work, most of them. We have a few people who work with us year round. And after the apples are picked and the trees are bearing, then we'll start in probably late November, sometimes early December, with pruning the trees, because once they go into hibernation, the trees they have to be pruned, the limbs cut back and everything. And so then we'll do that for the winter. And then in March, late March, 1st of April, he'll start with his spray program. And so we use integrated pest management as much as possible with traps and things to detect for insects. And then he uses a controlled spray on the apples. And we'll work that program until harvest time. And for some varieties, that's the end of July. For some, it's on into August or September. And so it's a year-round process. You know, somebody asked me the other day, well, do you go to Florida after the season? No. Maybe for 2 or 3 days we go and we come back, and it's a year-round process. So it's a full-time job. But yeah, the apples are very different. Some of them will come off and need very little storage time, and some of them we will keep in these coolers, which these are 2 large controlled atmosphere coolers, which is basically huge refrigerators. And we'll keep apples sometimes until April, May, or even June. This year we kept apples for the processing companies to pick up apples. So we'll walk in this cooler here, and I'll show you a little bit about that. That we use. Of course, it'll hold up several bins of apples, and then once we grade the apples in the bushel boxes, we bring them in here to store. The coolers will run, you know, like we say a regular refrigerator would run. We try to keep it as cool as possible, like 33 or so degrees, because that helps hibernate the apples, get them cool, and so they'll last a lot longer and stay fresher. This is, as I said, one of the 2 coolers that we use. Now, some places we use, we've got a few growers in the county who are using, not the controlled atmosphere, but you know how to just let me.
CO2?
Yes, it's where they seal the room and pump the gas in, and then they can really leave those year round in there and pull them out.
But you have to vent that.
But you have to vent it.
You can't breathe.
Yeah, I mean it's a process. It's a sealed room, right? But this one will keep it, you know, cool as possible, and the apples will stay fresh. Hopefully, until we have sold them out. Yeah. Any questions about this room or anything?
I missed the temperature.
Right now, this one's probably, with the door open, it may be in the mid-30s or so. Yeah, almost 40 at the front. Now, at the back, it's going to be cooler. And once we close the doors back, it should go back down to about 33, 34.